I got to this point where I was in such cell level fear. I was afraid to breathe. I was afraid to hold my breath. I was afraid to swallow. I was afraid to walk. I was afraid to lay down. I was afraid to leave my house. I was afraid to stay in my house. Everything.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors and ideators so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions and millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough, and when we do talk about it, when we engage with people in pain, most of us are really bad at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations, and hopefully better conversations with survivors, in large part to help more people in more places hopefully feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are an attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, please reach out. I'd love to talk with you. hello@suicidenoted.com. You can learn more about this podcast at our website, suicidenoted.com, or on Spotify, where we also have a poll. Check it out. Or on Apple, where we have ratings. We would love one of those. 5 stars, please, if you think we earn it. What we really need right now is people helping us format and index some AI-generated transcriptions. That would help a lot. Now, finally, we are talking about suicide on this podcast. My guests and I don't hold back, so please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there is so much to learn. Today, I am talking with Alisa again. Yes, it's an update episode. And like last week, this episode was part of the tour. It was the 12-stop Mountain Hood, Oregon, in person at the Hoodland Bazaar. A lovely audience who was engaged. And unlike last week's update episode, I'm going to include, towards the end of this conversation, some words from our audience. We also had Elizabeth, episode number 181, former guest. She was also there helping us out, part of the audience, so it was a good time. So let's jump into the conversation with Alisa, who is, of course, a suicide attempt survivor. When did we first talk?
Do you remember? Exactly a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do you remember why you reached out? Because of course, you know. Well, let me ask you that. Do you remember why?
Well, it took me a long time because I think I found the podcast probably within like 6 months of the first episode.
It was years before we talked.
Way years, yes.
Yeah.
So
what took you so long?
Because like you started using different language. You started talking more about like wanting ideators to call in too, or to like be a part of the conversation. Mm-hmm. And really, before I talked to you, like I had this one attempt, or it was like I drove through a stoplight and I knew what it was, but 0 things happened from it. So like, where does that lie in everything? Yeah. And so before I even talked to you, I was like, I don't know if I have an attempt, you know? So definitely it was like, I feel like I have a seat at this table, but I had, first of all, repressed memories and some things that hadn't come up. So I just didn't feel like I had a place in it, is why it took so long. And there was this thing about wanting to be like on the other side of like, well, now I'm good. Like we only need to talk about it like once. I'm like, that's all behind me. So I have a lesson to learn, you know, or to, you know, put on everybody, which now I'm like, that's just awful.
It didn't work out that way?
No. And so like I contacted you the first time and ghosted you.
They don't need to know that, but okay, now they do.
And felt terrible.
That's right. Okay. Because I do this thing sometimes with all the people that ghosted me. When I'm in a good mood, once in a while, and I'm organized enough, I'll be like, hey, y'all, you emailed once. If you ever want to be on the podcast, let me know. You were the one on the right. That was you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
I was like, oh my God, he doesn't hate me. Yes, please. Let's talk now. And they'd had a whole bunch more crazy experiences that put suicide in a completely different light in that year's time frame.
Okay. And we had a good talk. Yeah. And I don't say that to everybody. I mean, most of them are pretty good, I think, but we had it was like super, I only say that because I think most people are being honest. It'd be like weird to come on and not be honest. Who knows? Some people might do it. I give them the benefit of the doubt. But you are not a East Coast person. I know you're from the Dakotas. I know you live here now, but you have a sort of edge. You're like, let's get fucking real.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And we were.
Yeah.
And we talked for a while.
Yeah.
And then I
like
went to the paint.
3.5, 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which doesn't make editing fun, but
yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone's an editor here and wants to, and works on minimum wage, let me know. I want to outsource right now. Help me. And then your episode comes out. So let's talk about some of the stuff that we, in part, talked about there, but then there's also stuff that has happened since.
Okay.
So, and you're cool with that?
Very cool.
You wouldn't be here if you weren't cool with that. You wouldn't have talked to me in the first place if you weren't cool with that.
That's right. Yeah.
But you could have talked to me and realized this guy's a complete asshole. I don't want to talk to him again.
That's true.
So I think something went well.
That's right. I agree.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to do a
with
lot
you.
of things to make myself feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Good job, Sean.
Yeah.
So
like also this conversation, like Sean and I have worked together for the past like year
on and off
on a podcast that I started because he's also doing that too. So
he tried.
There's like further depth in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Right.
Context. So unlike some guests that I've had, we talked. We may not have talked again.
Right.
I met up with them when we did this, but we've had some conversations. And so I know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question.
Okay.
Right? I talked to you and you were living here in Oregon.
Uh-huh.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, do it.
But if someone looks on the podcast and looks for Alisa, it's always name in place, right? If they look for Alisa in Oregon, they won't find anything. What they'll find is Alisa in South Dakota. And I remember at the beginning of our conversation, you said, I want you to use South Dakota, and here's why. So why?
Because that's who place where the trauma happened. That's the place that all of this ideation, all this stuff happened. And that's also where Sean has this thing too, where he comes up with memoir titles. And my new ones is Suffered in South Dakota. That's going to be my memoir
hold
title.
Hold up. Say it again.
Suffered in South Dakota.
Is there a subtitle?
I don't know. I still am attached to being able to run away from your problems too. So anyway, I really did because Oregon has saved my life. And I did not just Oregon, but the mountain because, I did not. And there's like a lot of suicides and like serial killers in Oregon and Washington. Like there's this whole vibe about that.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
The serial killers?
Yeah, a lot.
That's a different podcast.
But there's like a lot of other.
No. Like half the podcasts out there are serial killers.
Yes. Okay.
Which is if I wanted to make a lot of money, I would do that.
Yeah. So I just like, this is the place that saves me. Like, and the South Dakota was absolutely miserable. And as soon as I got away from there, I could start to see how traumatic of a place it was to live. It's politically very difficult. It's very conservative. I have a trans daughter and I was raped there. I was beat there. I was molested there. Like, dude, they can have all that shit. So, like, a big part of, like, moving the fuck away from your problems, like, it gives you the space to breathe. My daughter also turned 18, and so I was able to stop seeing my ex-husband. And he was such a source of trauma and abuse and stuff like that. So her turning 18 allowed me to move here too. So then custody is no longer an issue.
I'm going to refer back to the original conversation. If you haven't heard it, that might be a little annoying, but I remember you specifically saying something, I'm paraphrasing a little bit of, people say you can't run away from your problems, but they're wrong.
They're completely fucking wrong.
Well, I get that sentiment because I've gone places where I thought, I'm just going to be a completely different person. And you learn within like a week after the honeymoon, like, no, but for you,
it's continued. It's gotten nothing but better. Like the more space I have from that environment, the more resilient I feel myself becoming.
How much do you want to talk about what the things that happened in Dakota, South Dakota, I believe, right?
Yes.
That led you to, what was it, attempt or near attempt?
So that's the interesting thing too about when we talked, like you kind of dropped my jaw because what I had said was like, I don't know how many attempts, but I was like misdiagnosed as bipolar. And so like after a year or two, I had these buildup of medications because my psychiatrist really, really like trusted me. And so like these wild ranges of medications that were at my disposal. Like you can take between 100 and 700 milligrams of things. So, but they fill you to the 700, of like 9 different medications. This was happening. So I was constantly like just pills everywhere. And like once a week, life would be like, I'd feel like I was drowning. Just go to bed on a whole handful. Let's see.
Not like
Yeah. Like no like permanent intention, but like it would have been totally fine also to not wake up.
That's like legitimately the definition of space between right there.
Right.
The way I use that term. It's like,
and I mean, I literally did that for like once a week for like 5 years.
What were your ages those 5 years? 30s, 20s?
30s, 33 to 37, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Wait, how old are you now?
43. Yeah, I'm 43. Yeah.
When did you move here?
3 years ago.
Oh, is that all? So you're pretty new. When we talked, you were even newer. That's how math works in time.
It really
time, math. Huh? Okay.
So when I said that to you, when we talked, you like did the quick math and you're like, so you tried to kill yourself blah, 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 the amount of times. And I was like,
what did I say?
You did the math. You were like,
I was listening.
You did the math. You're like, so 5 years, once a week. I can't.
Oh, right. You're
like,
doing it like 200 and something times.
Yeah, whatever. That's what you said. So you're like,
that sounds like me.
That's just that was
me.
you. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because if you're in it.
Pretty right. And then before that, I was like, I don't even know if I have a seat at this table,
Right.
So that I was like, wow.
I think a lot of people
guess
feel
I'm here.
I think that a good number of people feel that way. Like,
yeah.
My story isn't, am I eligible? And I'm like, of course, like eligible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not, my suicide attempt wasn't, or did I really try? It's like, well, we can talk about it.
That speaks to like the unworthiness of people who end up in that position where we live at,
I'm sure you've explored this a lot and you've shared some stuff already a little bit, like bullet points. So what gets you to the point? This is a hard one and a big one. From little Alisa, cute little South Dakota, to 30s. And there might have been stuff in between to where you're in the space between, where you're taking medications, and once a week, hoping you don't wake up, or kind of that way.
Well, I mean, I've pinpointed where it started. And that, like when I made reference to repressed memories, that's something that I've since I've been given the space away from this, that's come to the top of my mind ridiculously often. But when I was 8 years old, I wrote a suicide letter. And like I had a waterbed and there's like this square space where you could like,
hey, I don't think I know this.
You put them in like, I don't know. It's like, it was my hidey hole. Right. And, my mom was cleaning my room like a few months after I wrote it and found it. And it was like, very 8-year-old, like, give my teddy bears to my cousin, and it seems really tragic now. But my dad handled, my mom's always just sits there silent, but my parents handled it in a decent way. But what I've remembered now was that was, the postscript to being molested by my uncle and my cousin. So there's that. And then I think that led me into high school relationships, that were abusive. That led me into a first marriage that was abusive. Led me into, then I had my first child and got severely depressed with postpartum depression. And that was where medications started to get introduced, by doctors, mental health medications. Then I got divorced and had my second child, and I got even worse postpartum depression when I was 30. God bless my husband, but he did not help me one bit with the nighttime stuff. And my son did not sleep through the night for 2.5 years. And I had postpartum depression, and I don't think I slept for more than 3 hours at a time that entire time. And I went into it like I was unbelievably sick the entire pregnancy, morning, noon, and night, to the point that my daughter and my husband had they would wake up in the middle of the night 6 months after I had my kid being like, is mom up puking? I'd created puking PTSD. I spent so much of my pregnancy puking. And so I was like so sleep deprived, I think, for like 3 years. And then the postpartum depression and my nervous system freaked the fuck out. A thing happened that I didn't know existed. I think it's a nervous breakdown, but I got to this point where I was in such cell level fear. Like I was afraid to breathe. I was afraid to hold my breath. I was afraid to swallow. I was afraid to walk. I was afraid to lay down. I was afraid to leave my house. I was afraid to stay in my house. And that's when I got diagnosed with bipolar by literally the only psychiatrist in the entire state of South Dakota. There was no second opinions.
Really?
There was like, it's a healthcare desert. Like they don't value it. It's like healthcare, mental health care. We don't do that. Come on. So yeah, it was the one and only psychiatrist in the entire state. So you bet your ass every doctor backs that person up.
Sure.
Like they want to stay on, his good graces. And then I had another psychiatrist, years later. And I mean, I never got removed off of a single medication. They just kept adding and adding and adding and adding until I was on these and in this drowning state where I was just so low that I was once a week being like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Life's terrible. It was just like cell level exhaustion after that, And then I came out here and I was able to get off the medication. And that has been a big part. I'm like, oh, I am not bipolar at all. I was a traumatized human. I was in full-blown PTSD. And that's what that is when your cells are so afraid, And I think it was interesting because it was like that set in once my son started sleeping. It was like once my body felt the safety of all the rest of that stuff. So it didn't make sense to anybody because they're like, everything's fine. What the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, everything is wrong. Like, yeah. So it's been a lot of healing recently. Yeah. But then, of course, I had a whole nother situation set in once I moved here too, that crossed another suicidal bridge.
Is that right? Just
an entirely different way.
Did we talk about something with traffic?
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
What happened with that?
That was like the one attempt that I thought that was like a real attempt. And
the one that would make you eligible?
Yeah, that would make me eligible, right. And that was just...
that was in Dakota.
That was in South Dakota. Yeah. I just left on a lunch break one day and I just was so dark. It was the middle of winter too. And man, winters in the Midwest are fucking insane. Like,
Chicago.
Yeah, it's rough.
Dark, cold.
Right. It's like, and really, like, I lived out in like the country too. Yeah. Like, so there gets to be this thing where, the snow never leaves. Yeah. And it's so gray all the time that you like lose track of like the horizon line. And it really starts to mess with like keeping yourself like buoyed in life. Like, just gray. It's like you just live in grayscale. Like no trees, no green, like it is here, freezing fucking cold. One psychiatrist just pumping you full of drugs. Right. Yeah, that's it. So I just left one day from work and I like kind of like now I know probably like a PTSD like daze kind of thing came over me and I was like, let's just drive through this, see what happens, Drive through a bit, the main intersection in
it's
town.
In your town, though, there was maybe no cars.
No, it probably wasn't. I mean, it's just...
But that's not the point.
Right, no, exactly. It was just like, and I came home and like I was still in that daze and I like told my husband, I was like, I just drove through an intersection and he was like, like, was it the medication? Did you fall asleep? I was like, no, I just made a choice. And it was interesting. His response that time was, can I call your best friends? I think we should call Brianna and Amber. And I was like, yeah, why didn't you do that? And they came running like, and then like, we didn't really talk about it. Well, they just sat with me for the evening,
Hey, Brianna, Amber, if you're watching on Facebook.
Yeah. They helped out for the night.
Did they?
Yeah.
That was a traffic one. Mm-hmm. That was the 5 years weekly. But you jumped over something, knowing I would probably come back. Oh. You're like, I just came back to Oregon and then things were good, but then was this new thing. And it's like, hold up. How do you get from South Dakota to Oregon? Like in terms of, you probably drove. I'm not asking that.
Yeah.
But that's a big change.
Yeah.
And I think somebody who's struggling either doesn't have the ability to do something like that or is like, fuck it. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or ideas in your head, but was it a sort of like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta leave. I gotta do something.
Yeah. Well, I had come out here 25 years ago. My now husband was living in Troutdale, and he and I had been best friends in South Dakota before. And I stayed for a week and fell in love with it. Like, I called in sick for 5 days.
This was how many years ago?
This is 25 years ago. I called in sick for 5 days. I was living in Minneapolis at the time. I was like, I can't fucking leave this place. I was like, my soul is supposed to be here.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, we spent most of the time up here. And, so I called in sick for 5 days of school and everything. Literally been trying to get back ever since. Like, how do I finagle this?
That was always there.
It was always there. But then, like, other husband, and then the custody thing was really like, so my husband had moved back, and so that he had already laid tracks out here, so with people and everything. And then what happened, though, is our entire family got to a breaking point in South Dakota. My daughter had been in a mental hospital for suicide. She didn't attempt, but it was for suicide. And, I pulled her out of school. I pulled my son out of school because the political environment was so difficult there, and they were getting bullied. And we were just all at this, like, the tension level in our home was just awful. It was, my daughter had us, like, she was living in such intense chaos, like, in the time right before and right after she was in the mental hospital, that our life had been broken down into 3 parts. Like, it was from the time she got up till about like 1, 2. Is she okay? Where's she at? Has she been with the police? Has she gotten in trouble at school? Then the afternoon, same thing. Then the evening, getting her home for the night. Like, it was commando parenting, like, all hands on deck. And, like, when the dust kind of settled, it was like, oh, we can't continue here. Like, nobody can continue this. Like, so it was like a breaking point. And Sean had my ex-husband, or my now husband, had these, like, these relationships that he'd managed the whole time. And so we came out here for my 40th birthday, took like a Highway 101 trip, and saw a bunch of the people. I got to meet a bunch of his people from out here. And, like, of course, I did my witchy thing. And I was like, witchy thing, like, where I'm looking for signs. I'm like, if I see an owl on a blue background, like, literally that was one of them. If I see an owl on a blue background, then I'm meant to be here, and, like, all the signs were lining up. And, like, I brought crystals that cracked when I got here, and I was like, it's here, like, everything. Yeah, owls are hooting. We walked into my friend's, Sean's friend's house, and he had a 311 poster that had the owl on it. You guys, oh yeah, the owl on it with it. And I was like, well, here we go. Like, I'm meant to be.
Can we just take a moment and I wonder your thoughts on the name Sean? And are they just good people, better people than most others?
Must be.
Just better people than most other
just
people?
superior humans all the way around.
Right? S-E-A-N?
Yeah,
it's a very good name.
Yeah,
it's very good spelling.
Scene. That's right, scene.
Let's start. And thank you. Good night. That's where we should stop it. So, okay. So, yeah. What happened? So you've been out here for a few years. Before, I want to ask you, especially, we're going to talk about some of the good stuff too, like how you are now. No. But I mean, people go, why are you talking so much about just the sun? Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I want to know, in growing up in South Dakota, whether it was before you came here or while you're, a few questions that are sort of broader. How many people did or do you have, this question, to talk to about this stuff where you can be completely honest and not feel at least not feel worse during or after?
Like, one of the people that I mentioned on the podcast, I had time to test that out recently in my most recent past, and it did not go well at all. I guess I don't think anybody. I don't think anything, but I have recently come to feel differently about that. Like, over the past 2-3 weeks, I've really done some introspection about the nervous system and understood what it is more to be a caretaker, and that there's just points that literally people living in a human body come to the end of what they can bear.
Totally.
I don't know. I've learned to soften a lot. Like, although I mean, I sent my podcast episode to my parents and I got no reaction. They didn't even acknowledge it. And I'm like, well, the no reaction is the worst one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's rough.
Let's
you know?
just okay,
Yeah. Like,
honey.
so I'm even coming to be like, when people do react, but it's a poor reaction, like maybe I can pull back enough to give some grace to those people at this point where I'm like, it overwhelms people so deeply.
Right.
It's not how I will handle it. I'm stepping to that every time with a human that I'm
That's
in
the
that
hard
with.
part, right? Because you're there.
And I would continue to check in. And so today I feel like giving people grace about it. In a few days, I'll probably be pissed off all the way again. But today I'm seeing it from a different light where your nervous system shuts down and people do their best.
You're nicer than I am.
Yeah.
How often do you... We knew that way before this conversation. No, I meant it though. It wasn't. How often these days, if at all, do you think about ending your life?
Every single day. I think every day, but in a way that's like a toxic coping mechanism where I'm like, oh, this is terrible. And there is a way. I mean, like, if worst came to worst, there's a way.
Right.
Not like in a making plans or I even feel any intention towards it. It's just, that's there too.
Do you know?
Like if I'm going through the list of solutions, that's part of them.
That's one of them.
Mm-hmm. So like,
do you know other people like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, no, I guess
like that. Nobody, not that you like maybe like you know.
No, I've never.
Meaning you've talked about it.
I mean, I've heard people on your You're not personally, no, but I've heard people talk about.
But I wonder if
your episodes. Yeah,
probably there are. Who knows? But you don't talk about it, and I get why. But
yeah, I mean, and part of it too, like it, like over the past couple of years, I've been suffering with chronic pain, and I've come to understand that pain can be like a personal journey too. And sometimes I don't want other people in on that journey too. It's not that I'm lacking somebody being in on that daily struggle with me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, that's kind of my little thing that I play with. It's not for you to fuck with, really. Like, I'm not interested in you taking it away. I'm not interested in being comforted over it either. So, that's just my little space in this,
Mm-hmm. There's a chronic pain, the thing you were talking about, like the stuff that happened when you came out here that led you to...
Yeah.
What was it? Was it a back thing, if I remember?
Yeah. I came out here, and because of the getting misdiagnosed with bipolar and how much I had been doctoring for the previous decade, I had made this goal of I wanted to be pharmacy free for a year.
Okay.
I mean, I was trying to not take Tylenol, ibuprofen, not a Tums. I was pharmacy free.
Okay.
And so I went through 5 months of horrendous withdrawals from the bipolar medication. And then I came off that and I was feeling really good, but did not establish a primary physician because I was like, I don't care. I'm buckling down through whatever comes my way. I believe in the healing powers of my human body. And so then one day when the power went off here and it had been off for 4 days, all of a sudden I got horrendous sciatic pain. And my ankles started hurting. I was like, the fuck is this shit? And don't know. And it just over the course of a week, I was bedridden. And then I tried to ride that out for a month. No, maybe 2-3 weeks.
That's
where I was I'm going to heal. I'm going to heal without a doctor. Fuck Western medicine. I don't need this. And then I started trying to get into doctors because the pain then went from toes to nose. I was in horrible pain and not able to really walk, crawling to the bathroom. I smoked cigarettes at the time. It was the biggest blessing because that was the only reason I was functioning at all was to get out of my house to smoke a cigarette, crawl to smoke. And so then I started to try to get into a primary. It was a 4-month wait to get into a primary physician.
Really? Wow.
Healthcare is rough here. And then I started going to ERs and I started going to urgent cares, and not one person believed me that I was even in pain. Like I was like crippled, like I'm wailing, bawling. Like, I mean, I was spending 23 hours a day writhing in pain in my bed, like twisting, writhing, like, and that went on for like 5.5 months.
That does not get talked about enough, does it? Chronic pain alone will lead people to do some.
Yeah. And I again went through the sleep thing where, I mean, that was so bad. Like a few times I'd like fall asleep standing up because like there'd be a few ways that I could do. And so I'd like fall asleep standing up. And so finally, like it was just a waited out until I got into a primary. Like they wouldn't even give me fucking x-rays at the ERs.
It's weird.
Not weird.
Not
it's
weird.
it's the backlash of the opioid crisis is what it is, and being a woman.
And being a woman.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been at the ER with my husband all these days.
Different?
And
Tell me.
Holy fuck, his man. He's like, well, here's all the pain-killing measures you could ever want. Oh, you have an issue? Let me baby you.
Wait, what?
Oh my God.
All right, so I'm not, and then women know.
Oh, they didn't even believe me. So, like, how they would have ever treated me with any painkilling measures, like, they'd have to get to that part, you know? So, yeah, no, it was, I mean, horrible. So, finally, I got into a surgeon in Vancouver, and he took x-rays with me, like leaning over in the most horrible positions. And he said, you have no disc left in your lower back. He's like, you have pieces of your disc hitting your spine and your nerves. So then it started to go through all of the rigmarole to get the insurance to cover a spinal fusion, which meant like 4 months of physical therapy. I had 5 different steroid shots in my spine. I did massage every week for like that whole 5 months. And so yeah, so that whole time I didn't know that it was my spine. I didn't know that I needed a spinal fusion. So the suicide part of that is like me looking at my husband after months of showing like the writhing in pain in my bed and going, this is done. Yeah. Like, let's figure shit out and I'm out. Like,
what was it like for him? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was terrifying. It was really, really terrifying, but he was completely, with me. And my big scare in that was like timing, where I was like, so if this is something worse, what happens to me if I start to not be able to speak and I haven't done this, and I'm still in this pain, and now I cannot do it myself, and now I cannot communicate to you that it must be done. And so he and I had a really long conversation about looking into each other's eyes and seeing each other's souls, and he made me believe that I could communicate with him through a look when it needed to be done, if it needed to be done. And he promised me that he would do it. He said, we need to do this before I have to be the one that takes an action, if at all possible, but that it's inhumane that, I mean, there was no end to it, seemingly. Like, my heart was fine. Everything was fine. This pain just continuing with, I think over the course, I counted up for insurance purposes, and over the course of that year, I went to like 293 doctor's appointments.
Wow.
Which including like PTs and ERs and all that. So like, we were trying all the way along too. But when you're doing that much, like there's also got to be like an end to that, another plan, like. So that was, like I'd been suicidal on the emotional side of things, physical, mental pain. And now this was a different bridge to cross on the physical pain side of things.
And when did you reach out?
When let's see. So it was like 4 months post surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing better.
I was doing better. I was still like, really only like 2 months ago where I was like, oh, I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh shit, I have a whole new life and my body feels good right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I still have like issues and I'm changing, like I'm not how I was, but Yeah, it feels good.
Well, let's talk about the pink and purple pill question now,
Okay.
because it's a perfect time.
Yeah.
I give you a pill, and I'm going to ask you this today. I'm going to ask you this at the hardest time of your life. You take it, you go to sleep, you don't wake up, there's no pain, nobody knows the suicide. Right now, what do you do with it?
Keep it.
Why don't you throw it away?
Because I know that kind of physical pain exists in the world.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pick a point in your life. You've had several. Just pick anyone you want. I give it to you then. This is what's weird about this question, right? Because then if you take it then, you're not here now and you're doing seemingly better now. So it's a bit of a time, space, mind warp thing. But what would you do then whenever that point was? Presumably not. You won't do it.
I think that I always would have kept it. I think I always would have kept it because I don't know that I've ever actually wanted to die.
Mm-hmm.
I have just always wanted the shit to stop, the pain to stop, the suffering, even outside of me, the suffering, like all of it where I'm like, holy fuck, all I can see is suffering, like, yeah, that's what it's been about. Not wanting, just not being able to embrace any more of that.
I hear that a lot, right? I want the pain to end. But I think, I want your thoughts on this. If we could take away someone's pain, nobody would kill themselves. Like, are there people that if you took all their pain away?
I know loneliness. I think
that's
loneliness.
But that's
probably,
pain.
That's pain.
Take all the pain. And we could play with this. It's a thought experiment, right? But external, internal pain, physical pain, mental pain, all of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably people.
But I think without pain, there is no joy. Like, it's the contrast that makes it special. Yeah.
So that means, would you do it the same way?
No.
Okay.
Fuck no.
Okay.
No, I think there's a point, right? Where it's like the struggle does make you stronger. And then there's just like, okay, now I'm just being buried.
Yeah. Right.
Like now I can't come out of this, like it just keeps. Like when I talked to you, it was like I was really in this thing where I was looking at my life over the decades, where I was like, okay, 0 to 10, molested, 10 to 20, abusive high school relationship, raped, blah. 20 to 30, abusive marriage, all of that. Then I was like 30 to 40, the misdiagnosis of bipolar, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm here on this fucking spinal shit. I'm like, I can't fucking catch my breath, like let it be chill enough for long enough for me to fucking heal. That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, you said you think about it in some way every day or most days.
Yeah.
Do you think once it starts, it doesn't start to put back in the bottle, so to speak?
Yeah, completely. Although it has, like, when I first moved out here and before the pain set in, like, it completely dissipated. I was like, but I could feel at the time, like, I am living at this, like, heightened level of joy that cannot be sustained. I was like, this is too good to last, like, nobody can maintain this, so I knew there was something's going to come. It'd be like so drastic, like you need spinal fusion. But
what is the biggest myth?
I think that people allow themselves, this is a new one that I'm...
Yeah.
It's from a different angle. The myth that people allow themselves to believe that how badly they treat somebody else will not lead to somebody killing themselves.
Reframe that. Help me understand that.
I think that people think that they can treat somebody else however the fuck they want and that it's on them if they kill themselves.
So the person who tries to end their lives, it's their choice.
It's just them. Like,
where does that come?
You terrible victim. And nobody, they see them as the victim, but of their own circumstances. Like, it's really them. They're not strong enough.
Because they're newer, you said.
Yeah, just like I've seen relationships where I'm like, I could see why this ends up happening.
Someone's going to treat, for example,
somebody's going to treat that person so fucking bad abused with no way out that they do that because that is a way out.
And you're saying oftentimes people,
I think people
will just be like, oh, but you just couldn't.
You couldn't handle it. You weren't not tough enough to be in. Yeah.
They don't really give things about what happened.
Yeah. I think that people can absolutely treat people bad enough to make them kill themselves. And I think that we walk around as arrogant fucks, like being like, it's on them, like. It's the kind of our entire mental health system, though, is diagnosing different ways people are reacting to trauma.
Right.
It's not like people like show up bipolar. People don't fucking show up fucking schizophrenic. Like, even if you think so, I think that's all like, there's been stuff, people don't just show up depressed. I don't think so. I think they've been through shit.
Yep.
And nobody will take accountability for it. And so you start reacting. Your body starts fucking going at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna fucking come out somewhere. So yeah, I think that there's like an accountability piece to when people end up committing suicide that we in polite society are just like, they did it, and we don't want to make the surviving person feel bad. Well, fuck that surviving person. Like, it gets that bad.
It reminds me of when people talk about they feel like they're a burden.
Yeah.
And people will say, I don't know how you feel about this. I might be on an island here on my own. People will say, oh, you're not a burden. And it's like, no, ask the people in their life if they're really being honest. They probably are a fucking burden.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get real about it. But it's all this, what do we call this? This is how we talk about it. And we're so like, I know that people want to make people feel better. Yeah. I don't want to be the guy to be like, nah, fuck you, you're a burden. I don't mean that. But the reality is, I just go by my own life. If you actually ask people in my life, in the past, even to some degree now, do you think Sean's somewhat of a burden? They would say, and they had like a truth serum. And be like, fuck yeah, he's like, honestly,
well, and
really.
here's the thing, that's okay.
That's just the reality. I know.
That's okay because, like, if we go with the spoons theory, like, I get to choose where I'm dumping my spoons, Yeah. Like, if I want to dump my spoons into you, even though I do feel you as a burden, but like, that's where I choose to dump it, then that's, like, I'm choosing to, like, I mean, we have children, we have spouses, like, these are burdensome relationships, but I wholeheartedly, like, embrace that burden too,
It just feels like what you were saying and what I said to me feel to me similar. And it's just like the sugarcoating, the candy coating, we want to make you feel bad. It's like, no one's trying to necessarily make someone feel bad, but let's be honest though.
But let's be honest,
let's be open about it.
That
so what you were saying, yeah. I'm good. I feel like.
What's your myth? What's your favorite myth?
Who's the fucking interviewer here? No, my myth? I have so many. The biggest myth that I have is that, oh man, it's not a myth. Is it a myth? The myth that the current systems are sufficient. But I don't think actually most people actually think that anyway. Mm-hmm. The idea that it's not a myth, actually. I'm completely digress. I'm making a totally different point. I think that the majority of the systems and people involved, the big messages you hear are for a small percentage of people who are struggling. And the majority of the people are not getting help. I mean, if they can carve out help in their own life, sure, but I'm not talking about that. Not a myth, but I guess I can frame it as a myth, but I'm not clever enough.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to die a natural death?
I think I'm going to die when I'm older, but I'm not like interested in living a long suffering life. No, I think, no. I mean, my husband and I talk about like, like, man, when we're 90, let's get in the plane and like hope it crashes on the way to Jamaica. Like, so that we're like in a happy moment. But I really, really am also with my soulmate. And I suspect that we will take that into our own hands as we age together so that there's not a lot of separateness between us. Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about it. Like we've talked about like, I'm not in a hurry, but I'm also really like have a lot of faith in the energy that like, well, we are energy, and this is just like a shift in how things are after that too, so.
Oh, so is there an afterlife?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I don't know, I'm not like into like probably like the heaven thing, but like learning centers until we can, or like learning stages until we can rest and regroup and yeah. But I feel like energies will find each other. Like, I feel like my husband and I, my kids and I, like our energies have never been and will never be separate about it. So
I have one last question. I don't feel any pressure to end on a happy note, but I do want to ask you, what's one thing you do that feels fucking awesome.
Mm.
And this isn't a PG audience, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can say
No,
answer
yeah.
however you want.
What makes me feel connecting?
Mhm.
This, like being connected to other human beings, like that's like a high that like I'm always living for. And like being here, being part of this community, it's something real and something gritty and together. And there's, yeah, like it makes me a better person. It makes me want to expand and grow and share that. Like that makes me feel good.
And you did that on the podcast and here.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a podcast.
Yeah, well,
Well, you had a little while.
I have a little.
You got a little taste of the podcasting world.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
if it comes back,
it might come back. It might come back. It might not. Projects, you try stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool. All right. Do you want to ask them if they have questions?
Yeah, I've just been like afraid to ever say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I never had anybody to talk to.
Nobody.
No.
Yeah.
And then, I've been realized, so I'm afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
Because fuck that.
Right.
I said what I needed to get the hell out of there.
That's so common.
No,
For what it's
just
worth.
crying for help.
I know. How long ago was that?
Before I moved here.
When did you move here?
So that was like, similar breaking points of, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Shit. There's a lot. And I grew up with my dad normalizing talking about ideation.
Oh, really?
He always would say like, oh, if I never died, I'll make it, or if I never kill myself, I'll make it look like an accident. And then he did get in a very strange car accident after having a fight with my mother. And so it was like, was this it? For years, I thought that was it, that he did it, until I saw a medium and she like was able to channel him and convincingly tell me that it was an accident. Actually legit fell asleep. But just, it's there's a lot. And I resonate with so much of what you said. And I do wish, this is the most I've ever talked to anybody about it. Like even a therapist, I'm afraid that, mandatory reporters. So, and the accountability, that's what ripped my heart out. Like, cause there was definitely, like I was holding on to a ledge and somebody definitely stomped on my fingers. And that's what gave me that, that final push. Just life is a lot. It's why I left. I was telling my husband, like, I'm going to die here.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to die.
Where were you?
In San Diego.
Oh, I bet you don't hear that too often.
I was going to die in San Diego.
Really?
Doing a lot of drugs. I was on a lot of drugs. I was having chronic pain, having chronic migraines, on crazy pharmaceuticals. I felt like the doctors were going and spinning this wheel just to like, what are we going to put on next?
Oh, wow, yeah. You guys have a lot in common. Some stuff in common.
Yeah. I was on disability. It was with migraines, that alone, like people, it's invisible.
Yep,
but
totally.
Like, just take some Advil and suck it up.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I literally cannot leave like a dark room. I can't read. I can't watch TV.
Can we relate it to the Santa Ana winds?
No. My hormones, because as soon as I got pregnant with Mason, that's what, they've never been back like that. Until that little stint I had recently. But I'm stressed. But so I was just on all these crazy meds, feeling super bad about myself. And then, so all these negative things, it was like, I'm just a waste to society.
Yeah, right.
Like all these terrible things I'm saying about myself. I ended up seeing a friend text my husband, why are you with her?
Nice.
Blah, blah, blah. Just all the things. And it's like, oh, it's not just me. This is how people see me. Like, the outside world also sees I'm a huge loser and a piece of shit. And it was like it's just not wanting to die, but not wanting to go on anymore either. Like not wanting to live, not just wanting it to stop. Stopping the pain, stopping just feeling like a piece of shit and a burden.
Yeah. I wonder also, like, you're in San Diego, it's so sunny, everyone's smiling, good looking, and all good. Like, I must be honestly make it harder because you're in a dark room in pain.
Not enjoying life at
Right.
all. Yeah.
Right. But it's right there and you could probably see the sun.
It's a tease. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a real thing.
Like, look at this life that you're missing out on.
Could part of your book be the running away from your problems? Like,
Don't
it works
are you-
too?
Memoir title? Are we doing memoir title right now? Don't fuck with my memoir titles, please.
Yeah. You can run away from your fucking
Oh, you both ran away and it worked.
Fuck yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. Been amazing.
So both of you came to Mount Hood.
This is a story about the women on Mount Hood.
Right.
The
women on Mount Hood come to Mount Hood and they get better.
They go through usually a big upset for like the first few years they get here. And then but the mountain keeps them going and alive in the meantime.
It's like medicine.
Rebirth to
Mountain
happen.
is medicine.
Absolutely.
It's not a memoir title, but not bad.
The mountain is medicine. I think that one's probably been used.
And then you evolve. And
This is the 3 stages of women on Mount Hood. Escape.
Oh, I have.
It was right there.
No. Evolve is the last one. But you want the E.
But
Escape.
yeah, this is like a thing that happens to the women
Instead
here.
of like the hero's journey, it's like the heroine's
The heroines. Yeah, you're
but
right.
not the drug.
Right. Like,
Like
Some of the heroines
female
did heroin.
hero.
Sometimes. I'm not
Sure.
encouraging heroin use. If you do it on a mountain, it can be not bad. Sometimes. I mean, there's a reason people do heroin. It's not a
grown locally.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to do lots of lunches. Yeah.
That's an interesting, I don't know, has that been done? Like the women of Mount Hood, like that's just, I would be, that's at least an audiobook, I'd listen to it. I might not read it because brain. What are you saying?
I said just wait.
For what?
He's coming.
It's coming.
Well, are you the
Between
I'm not
moon
the-
circles.
the
and-
publisher behind this thing?
No, it's just it is very interesting.
He came from work.
The women of the mountain, are not only visibly powerful, but the energy is incredible. I mean, my wife's been a member of the Mount Hood.
Mhm.
Women, power women. It's just crazy, and they all support each other. And it's like they can just see.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it specifically Mount Hood or like any?
Yeah, here.
No, it's here. I don't
This
think
mountain,
it's like
yeah.
a mountain community. It's
No.
mountain communities in general. It's a Mount Hood.
It is, yeah.
It's special magic here.
And then the dudes are all like, well, fuck.
Yep, like, all right, we'll come along with the spirituality. Here we go.
You just follow the women.
We're going fishing.
It is like
Yeah.
a little bit of, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we moved here almost exactly a year ago from Northeast Portland.
Mm.
And just the love and support that Allie's received has just been amazing.
Mhm.
It's cool.
There's quite the women's
You
AA.
don't mess with the Mount Hood women.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
She probably knows some.
Some also powerful, sober women on this mountain, like really powerhouse. Sober
Wait, when you
women.
say about the mountain, like how many communities make up the mountain?
Woodland.
Like how many?
It's
5.
It's a village.
So-
it's
I
16,000.
know. I know it's hard to describe.
The whole mountain?
From Sandy. from
But isn't it like east side of the mountain, west side of the mountain, north side of the mountain? So?
Well, Hood River's like a different animal. That's
Wait,
not
what is
that.
it? Wait, what's
Hood River? That's like hoity-toity.
Those
We're all
guys.
good
It's like
there.
money.
Yeah, like sailboats and
So when you talk about the mountain women, it's they're kind of congregated in one area,
Yeah.
and it's
Even
only
if-
like a number, like thousands, not like tens of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small.
Okay,
So it's
not a good
Small,
place to
tiny.
burn bridges, though, right? 'Cause
No,
people-
No,
definitely not.
Don't be burning those bridges.
And I know people who have grown up here and they're very cautious about how people see them as because, something can ruin your reputation. It's like high school,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the support system that I've seen you have is and watch it grow is about as honest of a care and concern I think that you can have without knowing anybody. It's really special.
I would love for my husband to hear that too because he says that all the time. He's like, "Fuck, your friends here." He's
Yeah.
like, "These are quality humans that you have
Quality.
found." He's like, compared to like how it used to be. He's like, "These are." He's like, and he says all the time, he's like, the more you're with them, the more resilient you become.
Mm.
He's like, even on the weekly, he's like, when I go to my moon circles, he's like, the moon circle weeks, he's like, you were like with it in our house, you know, like it's an amazing vibe here. It really is.
Don't tell anyone.
I know, but like we have enough.
You're telling, the enemy over here. Right?
But thank you for saying so.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
for saying
cool.
that, yeah.
Place it matters where you live.
The place really freaking matters
matters,
where
it
you
matters.
live. Really, really
Yeah.
matters.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for hosting and joining. Couple more to go. Wrap it up. Make an award-winning documentary.
There you go.
There you go.
You know,
I love it.
Tucson.
I'd way rather have no rewards and just like some money. Funding. Yeah.
There's
Oh, by the way, this is a good opportunity to talk about the QR code. And those app to a tax-deductible donation. Also, by the way, before we leave, if you're cool with it, one other thing I've been doing is getting quick one-on-one videos. If you want, takes like a minute. I'll just be like, "What's your name? Why did you come here? What's your connection to these topics?" I want to add that to sort of the mix. So if you're cool with that, before you take off, pretty painless, and that'd be great.
50.
You're right. You will, because you might say something, and then I have another question, and I'm like, "All right, let's get painful."
We're here.
All of a sudden,
We're already
you're
here,
3
yeah.
more hours.
Trauma bond.
Trauma bond. Goodbye, y'all. See you in San Diego. Thanks for being here.
Oh, God.
San Diego. I know. That's why you said that. I was trying to do the Bay Area and LA, but it didn't work out. So it'll be great. And it was great. And thank you to Alisa and to our audience in Mount Hood, Oregon. I appreciate you all listening and your support. If you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk in person or online, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com. I'd love to talk with you. Check out our weekly poll on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating if you think we've earned it on Apple. All of that helps so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is all for this week's episode. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.